Let's drop down to our 15-minute frame, the liquidity that we're working with this session. So we have the buy side here, which is a London. Yeah, we'll just form just after London. We'll call that a London high. And then we have sell side here, which is a pre-market low. And then sell side here that formed overnight. And then this is an Asian session, but I'm not going to worry about that for right now. All right. So again, why do we frame the liquidity on the 15-minute chart? Reason being, the daily chart, the weekly chart isn't clear, right? So it's not like the other days where, all right, guys, we're looking for these equal lows on the daily chart. We're looking for bearishness. We want to see a Judas swing, and then we'll ride the shorts lower, right? It's not, I don't have that level of clarity today on the higher time frame. So what that then requires me to do is go into my intraday time frame, right? Hourly, 15, 5 and 1 minute, more specifically the 15 down to the 1 minute, frame liquidity, and this is what I'm having to use to frame my setups here for today. Many times when the opening range gap is small, it causes me to manage expectations, be more patient. However, when there's and many times it'll just have me be so cautious that I just won't even trade the day, right? I will completely avoid a morning session when it's an opening range gap smaller than 40 handles. However, if there's high impact news, I'm willing to trade the morning session, right? So I'm willing to give less weight to the small regular trading hours gap if there's high impact news. All right, so what I'm watching now, let me take this off, trying to keep it clean, still keep myself organized here. This imbalance here, watching that. Okay. Do we use that as support, keep rallying higher, or do we melt down through that? We have the high impact news driver, about a hit here in about 5 minutes. 5 minutes. All right, so this down close candle here, we'd want to see this act as support, right? So opening, dropping down into that. If bullish, this down close candle here should act as support. So I'm watching how we trade inside this first fair value gap, right? Do we start to see speed through it? Do we get above it, right? Because then if so, we'll have these buy stops up here. So now what I'm looking at this as, right, when I'm framing the daily range, this is what manipulation below that midnight opening price, right? So this likely, right, doesn't have to be, but likely is the low of the day. And now we're seeing distribution to the upside. So 930 Judas, right? You can trade the manipulation, but you don't want to get caught holding too long on a manipulation. Market shifts here, shifts market structure. Institutional overflow entry drill, order block, buy side, buy side. Right. So if I'm going to get a long position, I have to let the market come to me, right? So I can't just chase it up here. So what I would wait for is for the 5 minute to close, maybe drop down into the 5 minute gap. And then if it shows bullishness on like a 10 second, 15-second chart, 1 minute chart from that 5 minute gap, then that's something I would look to take as a low risk long into these highs here. And so I like the 418 level. Why 418? This 423 level, yes, it is above it, but I'm also looking at the liquidity on regular trading hours. So this is the high from yesterday on regular trading hours. So it's in close proximity to this one here. So this is a nice level for a draw that I like. So on the 5 minute chart, we're about to close this candle here. Then we'll have what, a fair value gap with a breaker. Why is this a bullish breaker? Because it was 2 up close candles that we were studying to see, does it act as a bearish order block? But it didn't, right? We just careened on right through it, which we anticipated. And now it will likely, if we're going to be bullish, reverse its role, right? Not be a bearish order block, but a bullish breaker, right? So you see what I'm saying with the opening range gap? Today we had a very small opening range gap. But because there's high impact news, I'm not telling you guys, hey, it's going to be a sloppy session, pack it up. There's high impact news. So why do we focus on trading with days with high impact news? Because the market's more likely to deliver a low resistance liquidity run. Because there's a lot of people in these markets trying to speculate and take trades based off what the news is saying. And obviously they're just getting taken to the slaughterhouse because the market's just running on time, price, and liquidity. But it looks like they're likely not going to give that 5-minute gap. Let's see what I get here in the lower time frame entry. 10 seconds. All right, so going long inside this 10-second gap here. So we traded into that gap going long there. All right, I want that 418 level. Remember, I showed you guys how I got that 418 level on the regular trading hours. And then stop. That down here. So 2 levels I'm buying inside of this 1-minute bullish breaker here. And that 10-second gap, you saw me got that entry. You saw me take that entry in. Okay, reducing some risk on this here. Down close candle here, want to see that act as a bullish order block. Want to see this up close candle act as a bullish breaker block. There's a couple new day opening gaps here above market price. I want to see us quickly start to run through that. I don't want to see it mess around inside that range. I want to see it displace through those 2 new day opening gaps. I'm going to break even on this one. We're not going to see it trade through this range. And if we come all the way back down through this price action, I don't want to be in this trade anyway. All right, there she goes.